Hi there, this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide on how you can start up a pop-up store. But before I jump into this video, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. You guys are all awesome, and if you haven't already, do subscribe at the end of this video if you did find this video useful. But yeah, let's jump straight into this video. So first things first is that you want to decide on what products you want to make. So whether it's a product that people can use at home or whether it's a food-based product, you need to decide on whether you want to create this and you want to be able to sell and how you're going to go about doing it. Because ultimately, deciding on a product will be the most important thing. So do have a look online, do see my many videos on different business ideas, and pick your best ones or pick your best 2 or 3 and see what will hopefully cater to your customers base around where you live. I think that's so important. Where you're considering popping up, you want to see the general area, the general demographic and what potentially they need, and if you can cater to that with your product, then they're more likely to come to you and then to someone else. And potentially if you're making it handmade, then you could be adding a premium, you could be higher quality, and then you don't need to worry about importing it from somewhere else because you're making it locally as well. The second thing to consider is that once you decide your product is how you're going to package it. So whether it's a food-based product or a street food, you're going to need to get trays or boxes, or you're going to get a wrap, then you need some paper wrapping stuff as well. If you're creating a product, then maybe bags to let people carry away, some nice decorations or packaging as well, some nice labels, just so you could sort of emphasize the quality of your brand or quality of a product. And I think the whole part of people not sort of seeing and buying with their eyes is quite important. So if you can make it very eye-catching, make it very classy in a sense and high quality, then customers are more likely to come over, see what you do, and maybe pay a slight premium as well. But that first impression is so important. If you're going to package your products, you need to make it attractive, you need to make it clear, you want to make it straightforward, have clear labels and let people know what it's made out of and the story behind your business, and that can go through all of your packaging. And I think that's so important because the whole part of getting customers to buy from you is not just the products that you sell, it's how it looks, how it will potentially make the customer feel as well. And we can start with the packaging, and that's a good start. The third point is how you're going to price your product. So whether it's low price or medium or high, obviously if it's high, then it's like, we presume it's going to be high quality. If it's affordable, then it's like decent quality. And if it's a low price, then we automatically presume it's going to be slightly low quality. But this is where the impression sort of comes out of. If you create something that is high quality with an affordable price or with a lower price, the perception is that hopefully people will still come give it a try and they'll be impressed. But ultimately, if the pricing is not adjacent with the quality level, then people might be a bit confused and they might not buy it. But if you have good quality product, you can afford to charge a premium price so you can maximize your profit margins. But do consider what other people are selling, the products that are similar of what you're selling, and whether you can add a little markup because it's high quality, or if you want to down price it so it can be a bit more competitive and maybe have offers or deals as well. So many things to consider, but when you start up a pop-up, this is the thing where you can trial and error. This is where you can try different prices, try different offers, what will bring the most people to your store, how many more sales you could be doing, and it's a whole process of trial and error and learning from your mistakes where you will benefit from the different price changes as well. Because ultimately, whether it's seasonal change as well, and your peak seasons during summertime, you can afford to charge a slightly higher price. For example, if it's ice cream, you can charge a slightly higher price than if you was to sell it during springtime or wintertime. We could potentially lower your prices. But ultimately, this is down to you. This is your pop-up. You decide what you want to sell at what profit margins, and your costs as well. If you keep your costs low, your profits high, you are on to the right path. The fourth thing is location. So this is where you want to decide where you want to pop up, and I think honestly super important, because if you're around your customers or your local area, your local demographic, your target market, then those customers are more likely to buy from you. If that's plain as simple as that. If you're a bit far away from your target customers, or if you're just in an area where people will have no idea who you are, then it's a bit of a stretch for them to give you a try if they already got someone similar who does a similar thing. So do maximize your location and your visibility in that sense, and if you could promote yourself and create a sort of store pop-up where people know what you're doing, know what you're selling, they know you're going to be here on a Saturday, then they're more likely to come. And I think when you decide a good location, then you can have lots of traffic of people, and if it's a similar target audience, then those people come to you, there'll be a massive queue, and you could be enjoying the quite high footfall. But if you're in a location where there's low footfall, people don't know who you are, it's never too late to change location. So that's the thing you have to understand. You could see what location works and find out which one's the best one. Even positioning within the market is so important. So if it's in the front, people are going to come in and they're going to walk around. Will they come back to you? Or will you be in the middle where they could just come around, see, or will you be at the end? Try and error. See what works, see what doesn't work, see how many sales you can bring in and what location, and work with that. The fifth thing is what equipment you'll be using. So if it's a pop-up, then you might need your gazebos, your pop-up table, and decorations around, and just like stuff to prop up your products and boxes and make it look pretty. And I think that's so important. If your store looks attractive and it brings people in, people will be intrigued. People will come in, they'll ask you questions, and then you can answer them and hopefully convince them to potentially buy from you as well. And I think if it all starts from how your store will look as well. So do consider putting in the time, the investment, and what equipments that you'll be using as well, and how you can be able to make your store look pretty, draw people in, and hopefully they will buy from you. And literally the smallest things that will make it stand out, like loyalty cards as well, get people to come back, and just like lights to make it stand out, just like chalkboards and all these other stuff where you can add decorations and add another level to your store. The next point is whether you're going to take card payment. I think nowadays everyone's doing card payment, so there's no way of just accepting cash. And I think a lot of people will have less cash in general nowadays with the whole pandemic and advances in technology and stuff like that. So do consider getting a card machine. But obviously you don't have to get a card machine. If you just want to do cash, no problem whatsoever. People will just be getting cash, or potentially you'll be losing customers. But honestly, you need to balance it out. Whether you want to do both, which is great, gives customers the ultimate availability in that sense, but do consider cash payment, card payment, and having that all sorted. And make sure you try it out first. So don't just go to your first pop-up and then trying your card reader there. Make sure you try it at home first, make sure it works. Do you got any questions? Don't find out during the market store and just go a bit lost, because ultimately when you're at pop-up location, you want to make sure you're ready, everything works, you know how the payment goes, you learning how you do it along the way, and hopefully you don't need to spend too much time with the irrelevant stuff, and you can focus on the second part. And one of the other things to consider is their service as well. So you don't want to forget your customer service. Get to know your customers, get to know their names, their dietary requirements, their orders, and what they like and what they don't like, potentially families and stuff like that. When you build that customer relationship, you're building a customer base. And I think when you have that customer base, you're more likely to have repeat customers, more loyal customers as well. Particularly if you're doing a pop-up where you're doing maybe one area, one location, another location. You want those customers in those areas to come to you whenever you are starting up. And I think that's so important. People like to buy from people they like. End of story. Literally, if they don't like you, they're less likely to buy from you. Pretty simple. So do make sure you're likable, make sure you're interacting with your customers, get to know them, be polite, please, thank yous, how are you, hellos, have a good day. Literally so simple. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and it will prevail in the long term, 100%. Because customers, again, they buy from people they like. They don't buy from people they don't like, or their products are rubbish. But if their products are good, their customer service is good, they'll come back, no doubt. And my last and final point is the marketing. So if you have a product, if you have a business that you started up, create a social media account, whether it's on Instagram, Snapchat, whether it's Twitter or Facebook. This is your way of connecting with potential customers as well, letting them know where you're located, what you're selling, any special offers, any special additions to what you're selling, and hopefully that will bring people into your store. This is more of a notification. It will also act as your sort of website as well. So do maybe have a website or have just use the free social media platforms and promote your business like that. Because ultimately, social media is free. Ultimately, you don't need to do too much to draw people in, but if you can have ability to keep people informed, let them be able to contact you as well if they have any questions or queries or any dietary requirements. But the whole part of a pop-up is just making sure that you can get your name out there. And I think that's so important. If you're within a demographic and an area where people know you, they've seen you around, they can connect and relate to you and your business, they'll like you, they'll follow you. And if there's special offers, you can get them to come back. They're more likely to see your posts because they've already started following you. So do create that sort of community, and it's not essential for businesses because honestly, I don't do much on my social media, but as long as you're providing a good product, good service, it's super important if it's making sure that your product, services, and your product is good, because if it's not there, literally not going to come back. And that's not how you create repeat business. You literally need 50% customer service, 50% on what the quality and products you're making, and that will bring people back. But making sure that you keep those customers informed is where the marketing comes in, and super important. Use it, maximize it, and make sure customers keep coming back and giving those positive reviews as well. If they could give you feedback, also great, and take it upon, improve, and take it forward for your business week, months, and years along as well. Thanks for this video, guys. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to see those subscribers go up like always, and hope you found this video useful and you enjoy the content I'm creating, and hopefully we can keep growing this channel as we go along as well. But yeah, I've been Business with Dave. I'll see you next video. Take care.